Stan Bowman threw his nuts on the table yesterday, made his first move of deadline season, acquiring Connor Murphy for a second-round pick. You would have been in the organization with Murphy when he started in Arizona, correct?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this kid. I think it's a great move. And I tell you what, this is why it's so hard to do these trade deadline shows and everybody gives your predictions. You don't know. Like Connor Murphy's value to the Edmonton Oilers is specific to the Edmonton Oilers. I really think it's a great fit. Not a good fit, but a great fit. Everything the Oilers struggle at right now, defending 5-on-5, penalty kill, their ability to keep their shots down, they can't box out in front of that. All of those things are going to be helped with Connor Murphy. The things they do well, moving the puck up the ice, playing quick, and have offense from defense, he's not going to contribute there. But you don't need that. You got that. So I think it's a great move by the Oilers.
So where would you slot Connor Murphy on this Oilers blue line right now? Because he's not going to play tonight, but the Oilers have shuffled up their pairs a little bit and spread out Nurse, Bouchard. What was it? What's the pairings? Wallman, Bouchard, Nurse, Emerson, and it's Ekholm, Stasny. Where do you think he fits best and his kind of role should be?
Well, this is going to be interesting to see what the Oilers do here going forward. I really think you want to load up on that top pair, put Ekholm and Bouchard together on the top pair. I like the second pair with Jake Wallman and Murphy if he can handle those minutes. That's the concern. Can he play those minutes? Ekholm can carry the puck up the ice. Connor Murphy can defend. If you want to have the powerhouse big men, we can defend, look out, you're not getting to the front of the net, but then it's Nurse and Murphy. I do like the ability to play right, left as much as possible, and I know Bowman mentioned that in his comments following this trade. You want to see that. But I really like him with Wallman. I just don't know if he can jump up his minutes that much from where he's at now with about 16 with Chicago. He's going to have to jump to 18 and 20. I think he can handle it, but I like him either with Wallman or Nurse.
It's interesting to see what some people, like, again, a lot of the analytics look really good on Connor Murphy. Some of the more traditional numbers maybe don't. And I point to that and go, he's not playing on a good team. Some people have pointed out, though, that, like, he hasn't played a ton against elites in Chicago. He hasn't gotten a lot of those heavy matchups. Like, is there any concern in what Connor Murphy can do as a defenseman for the Oilers?
Yeah, of course. And one of the things that you're concerned about is the pace of the game today and the pace of the game in the playoffs. At 32 years old, he's not the quickest defenseman on the Oiler roster, and he clearly wasn't the fastest on Chicago's roster. Mm-hmm. So when you want to eat minutes, luckily he doesn't have to play against Connor McDavid. So that is one of the benefits, but his pace is going to be a problem for him. I do believe the biggest asset, though, Tyler, is his ability to kill penalties. He is on the top penalty killing pair on the Chicago Blackhawks, who, surprisingly enough, are number one in the National Hockey League right now. So he's the top pair on the top team, going to a team that struggles on the penalty kill, that throws Bouchard over the boards to kill penalties. I think this is going to alleviate Bouchard's load on the penalty kill, focus more on 5-on-5 play, offensive zone starts, and power play time. So it's benefiting the Oilers, and this isn't a knock. Yeah, it is a knock on Bouchard's ability to defend on the penalty. It is. It's going to be better for Bouchard not to have those tough minutes on the penalty kill that you can see Connor Murphy eat for him. I really think that piece alone is going to help. You're going to see, I believe, and we'll revisit this in 2 months, I think you're going to see the Oilers starting to climb in their penalty kill numbers almost immediately, because I think Connor Murphy does those things with his stick and his ability to play in front of the goaltender, box out, clear out those rebounds. I think it's going to help significantly on the penalty kill.
The one thing, just on the penalty kill, Stan Bowman was on the radio yesterday, and he said that Chicago and Edmonton play the same penalty kill system. So he should be able to just slide right in, which is a positive. I just wanted to ask you too, PD, and I'm not sure how much Chicago games you've watched this season, but have his minutes reduced because of his play, or my assumption is it's because like Lefshunov and Rinzel have kind of come into the lineup, and Wyatt Kaiser too. Like, is it because they're just playing their young guys a bit more that he's fallen down?
100%. I mean, the focus in Chicago is not winning games. The focus in Chicago is getting the young players experienced enough so they can make the step in the next level. And you look at their defense, and you nailed it, Liam, when you talked earlier. He is 10 years older. This is the youngest defensive blue line in the National Hockey League. I love their blue line. I think they're very good. They're better when Connor Murphy's in the lineup because he brings things, calms things down in the defensive zone. Everything, you get those young players, and they do make mistakes. Rinzel's been up and down in this lineup, a lot of turnovers. Levshinov's really young, but offensively gifted. Vlasic and Kaiser, all of these young guys are going to be great. just not now. And I think that Murphy, you don't need him to do all of the things that they needed him to do in Chicago. I think his role will be much less limited. However, he's second in goals for Chicago by defensemen. It's only 5, but he does bring that. You are not looking for any offense from this kid. None. Don't care. I mean, you have the offensive defenseman that can transport the puck. You need him to be able to get the puck from his goal line to the blue line, off the glass and out, if it means that. I do think that his strengths play perfectly into what the Oilers need, and especially what they need right now for a team that's really struggling to keep the puck out of the net.
I want to read you something here from Kevin Woodley in Goal Magazine. He does great stuff breaking down goaltending situations around the league. And he was on with Gregor yesterday, and he said, Jarry has an expected save percentage of .859 since January 22nd, and Ingram is at an .869. Woodley adds the defensive environment simply hasn't been good enough. For those who don't know that stat, it's basically like, with the quality of chances you give up, what save percentage would an average goalie give you? What's the expected save percentage? The fact that Jarry's at .859 and Ingram's at .869, like, and I know you had a board on your Twitter the other day, and you had a breakdown talking about like how good Skinner's looked since he's got to Pittsburgh. Even like, are we too hard on the goaltending in Edmonton sometimes?
Absolutely, and I don't know, Aaron. I scratched together a video. Did Aaron get that video?
Oh, yeah.
Just checking in really quick.
We got something? This is exciting.
Yeah, if you can cue this up, this just shows how difficult, like that's a bad defensive rush read. This is a team that doesn't defend well off the rush. They don't back check the right places. And you end up with players all alone in front of the net, all over the ice. They chase the puck. They don't take their player to the net. That's part of system, how aggressively they attack the puck. But what happens is you end up with players in front of the goaltender the entire game. You're not following the players off the wall. You're chasing the puck. You're puck watching. You're looking for offense. And that way you don't defend. Here's Draisaitl, guilty again of chasing the puck and not following his check off the wall. 3 players below the goal line. 3. And where is the Anaheim Duck? In front all alone. Like, it is not once or twice. These are over the last 10 games. This isn't over 2 seasons. This is 10 games. And this just shows the inability for the Edmonton Oilers to defend and how often. I took out all the special teams and I took out the breakaways. Like, this is horrific defending. It's not bad. It's horrific. Like this team's not going to win a cup, and they won't be in the Stanley Cup Finals if this doesn't get better. And no question, this isn't the goalie's fault. They have to be better in their own end.
So why has this happened? Because Knobloch has come in, and I would think that defensively they've looked a lot better under Knobloch. We see it a lot in the playoffs as well. They shut down the Vegas Golden Knights in that second round last year and gave them nothing. And now all of a sudden they look like a team that's hunting for Gavin McKenna at the top of the draft.
There's no question. And we talked about it on this show a year ago. I thought the first round against LA, I didn't think they defended well. I really didn't. But as that series went on, this is a team that defended extremely well. And I was surprised at how well they defended and won the battles 50-50 along the wall, pulled out and defended through the neutral zone. Right now, this team is so aggressive on the puck. And they're so concerned with creating offense that they are forgetting the play behind them. Now, some of that structure, some of that is the ability for the coaching staff to say, hey, let's switch our focus from this offense. This team's going to score. We have the ability to score, but we are not going anywhere unless we defend. It's got to be a message. And honestly, it's going to have to start accountability inside the room with the leaders. It's going to start with McDavid. It's going to start with Draisaitl, because you need to see those guys do it consistently. And I've talked about it on this show, and I know people don't like to hear it. McDavid over back checks almost every time back into the zone because he's aggressively pursuing the puck. McDavid wants the puck back, not always the right play. Instead of assessing the situation and back checking to the middle of the ice and taking away options, Connor's going for the puck. And his ability to get there quickly is great, but that leaves holes in behind. The indifference of Draisaitl at times and his ability to defend, and Tyler and I have talked about this at length, and his interest in defending from the blue line in, it jumps incredibly in the playoffs. Like his games 1 through 82, not so interested. 83 on, different player. I don't think this team can switch that on like a light switch come game 83. They have to defend better. And I'm hoping the acquisition of Connor Murphy helps at least one set of defensemen that can protect the front of the net in front of their goaltenders. That the thought process is defend the blue, let somebody else worry about the offense.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.